think just one according to this.
Joy to the world. This show is finally over. I'm so glad we've reached the finale. If you don't know who I am, I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. Wrote Pathos for 10 years. This is my husband, who was an editor with the Monthly Labor Review for many years.
Bureau of Labor Statistics, 20 years. So
yeah.
I love writing and editing, teaching it now, but
so we watched this
a little entertainment here.
Show together. This is our togetherness.
Yeah. Why not?
I gotta raise it. I don't remember. See our
okay. Yeah.
Especially since we can't seem to Photoshop them away.
Yeah. Oh well, good life down here. So
very good life. A little too good. This show, it was the finale, and like I said on the little thing, I said about them fighting.
Oh, which Deonte and
Deonte literally got into a
with
fight.
Tia.
Hey, Christophe and Tia. I just could not believe that.
This was a little unusual. It's an hour and 26 minutes long. That's very long. Maybe because it's the last show of the year. I don't know, but
the season, yeah.
Hopefully we tried to take notes during it, so hopefully
I took a bunch. A bunch. In fact, I was so grossed out at the very beginning when Sean proposed to Sarah on the walkway to who knows. It was an awkward walkway. Christophe.
Okay.
Was covered with spider webs and bird crap. How romantic. Did you notice that? When Sean proposed to Sarah on that bridge.
No, I guess
the bridge was like filthy, dirty, and crazy looking. I was just like, no, say no. Run away from him as fast as you can. I just could not get over.
My advice to both of them is enjoy your moment of bliss, because there's so many things, negative things on the horizon. First, her mom really doesn't approve at all, and neither does his daughter. She didn't seem very happy. And then when they talk to his ex, oh boy. So I don't know. Wish him the best.
Why did they give the kid champagne? That's the thing I'm knowing, because they popped the bubblies, and the mother did not like it. She was like, "You said yes, no, you can't marry him. You just met him." She was just not impressed. I was not impressed either. I was just like, these people have no business getting married whatsoever.
Well, I think it's a possibility. Well, I mean, there are worse cases. I think she seems pretty sincere. In his case, he's just got to stop the lying. I mean, it gets him in so much trouble. It doesn't seem to learn. But maybe. We'll see.
Sarah really made me mad this week because she was talking about how Kelly was disrespecting her. His relationship with his children has nothing to do with her relationship with any of them. She should take a chill pill and just step back, because when you start trying to control what your ex's girlfriend, baby mama, kids, whatever think, you really are starting to fight a losing fight, I think. Is that it on those two? Those two. Sean says some of the inmates he met were psycho. Kelly has every right to meet before. I agree. I don't have a problem with what Kelly's saying. I do have a problem with what Sarah's saying, where she's saying that Kelly needs to respect her and respect the kids. No. That
really shouldn't be a surprise for Sean, especially after he went through Destiny. He was pretty psycho. I think more psycho than.
And he proposed to Destiny. I don't know if Sarah knows that, but he proposed to Destiny. It wasn't just a hookup.
Yeah, but I mean, it's much better with Sarah. I think she's a much better choice. It's still a long shot, maybe, but he's improved us a lot, I think, in his chances. What's this? Destiny was. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, she was. I wonder what's happened to her.
She's in jail. She's in jail. She got caught.
I mean, she slugged him. He still didn't seem to get the message. She slugged him at one point. So I don't know.
And then Puppy and Amber. Oh my gosh, I don't know how her mother and Amber didn't know she was busted again, because she's out there running from the cops and saying, "Oh, I can't go back because I'll lose my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah." And that is not a good look for anybody because they're going to give her more time. I hate to say it. They really are going to give her more time. I have a feeling that she'll be going away for a lot longer than she would have if she had just owned up.
Yeah, she seems to make incredibly poor choices consistently. So, I mean, turn yourself in. You had a chance. Amber's absolutely right. Now, I don't know. You can't really blame the law for coming down hard on her. I mean, she is avoiding him, so it's a shame. She's attractive, seems to be reasonably intelligent, but Amber's a much better bet. I hope that she gets things. She thinks she'll have a brighter future. At least she has some common sense.
Yeah, and that was nothing I didn't understand. They said that Puppy faced a potential 20 years of probation. I looked up what her charges were. There's no way that the charges that she had should have left her with 20 years of probation, but that's what I heard Amber say on the show.
Well, if it's just probation, I thought, how many years is she going to go to jail?
Couple, probably, at least. She's complaining and whining that she doesn't deserve jail. But see, here's the thing. If you know that you have a felony out there, if you know you have a warrant on you that you violated your parole, you really need to go to a parole officer ASAP and just throw yourself on their mercy. I think that would have worked out a lot better for her than letting them pick her up for a broken light over the license plate. Because the cops are out there looking to bust you for practically anything. If they run your plates and see that you're wanted, that's a whole different ballgame. And the wedding of stupidity, Deonte, Nicole, and Tia. That finally happened. I'm pretty sure they were having it First Landing State Park in Norfolk. I have a feeling that's where the wedding was. Just by looking at the last couple of weeks of where the wedding was taking place, I have a feeling. Deonte, poor thing, he was on foot, and then he butts in. When the minister said, if there's anybody here who knows why this wedding should take place, speaking up, it just like, I can't believe this idiot's going to show up right then.
I almost wonder if that was staged, the fight and stuff. Like, I don't know, for a TV audience. I mean, it's hard to believe he'd be that stupid to show up there like what he intended to have happen, but and
Deonte was lurking, waiting for the two of them so that he could jump on Tia and try and beat her ass, even though she threw the first punch. I think I remember that. And it was just too crazy. I thought the whole.
I mean, and then Tia is obviously really sick. I mean, like, she's got this disease that may take her life anyway in 6 months. So I don't know. I think they need to think that over. I don't give it a chance to last.
Yeah, and she was saying, nice "Fight my wife," or who was it? Nicole was saying, "Fight my wife, fight my wife." It's like, oh my goodness.
Then again, I wonder if it's a little bit staged for ratings or something, because I don't think anybody would be that stupid to show up and.
Nicole kept shrieking, "Stop!
Really, I know he didn't know what he wanted. Couldn't really explain what his purpose was for being there. So
stay with the bitch you with. That was one of the quotes I picked up during that, and I was just kind of laughing over that. That is just, I thought it was pretty stupid. I was just unbelievably disappointed in how that all went down. It was just pretty stupid.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, I watched Deonte on TV last night. He kept saying he doesn't think Tia is really sick.
I don't know. I think she might be.
She might be. She doesn't look well at all. I don't doubt at all that she's sick. I watched Sean on an interview this morning with somebody else with another, and he didn't sound like the same guy. He sounded like he had brain cells rubbing together. He's putting together his words right. He didn't have that goofy look on his face. So I'm starting to wonder about TLC scripting the crap out of this. And I got to move on next to the world's cheapest, supposedly, millionaire, Stan, the man with the wig, or the incredibly ugly hair. I couldn't believe Stan put a Lunchable out as a charcuterie. I couldn't believe that. To me, that was the stupidest, tackiest thing I've seen done on a show that thrives on cheap and tacky. he put a Lunchable out. A Lunchable. I don't know where he got that. I was just judging him. I was just judging the hell out of him because when he got together with Tina, his old girlfriend, he was using the cheapest paper plates. He had the cheapest stuff that he was throwing on a plate and calling it a charcuterie mixed with the Lunchable. I just couldn't believe it. And he was talking about he was seeing the hottest grandma.
Yeah, I think he needs to have his vision
Tina.
checked. If that's the hottest friend. But I mean, it just sounds like, I guess he just likes it. Like he finds it charming. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's just, it's kind of like fake, and so he just wants somebody, I think, and it's kind of desperate. So
he just wants somebody to tie him up in that straitjacket and hang him upside down in the basement and do evil things to him, I think.
So not a high opinion still of Stan, or
he kept saying how he couldn't understand what happened between him and Lisa, and he kept acting like maybe they'd get back together. Lisa just was not into him. That's all it was. He was just hella creepy with her, and she was just not into it. And I don't blame her at all. But I got to say, I did get the biggest laugh watching her get baptized in a horse trough. That's basically what a lot of people use that giant galvanized thing for, as a horse trough, and more power to her.
Yeah, actually, I give her credit. Maybe it's an attempt to turn her life around, and if so, more power to her. I hope that she can, and that it does. So certainly better than sticking with Stan, or her options are not good, being an ex-con and then bad family, but maybe there's some hope with the baptism. So I'm happy for that for her.
And then Stan says Tina needs to lose weight. Stan, nobody asked your opinion on that. Women are free to weigh as much or as little as they want. Your opinion does not matter. And his cat Samuel, I got the biggest laugh out of Samuel, because Samuel just looked super disgusted with Stan the entire time and was griping at him. The screen captain said, "Help me," under Samuel was the funniest thing I've ever seen on that show. The funniest and the truest. Oh, and was that the end for Stan and Lisa? I'm looking to see.
Oh,
because I took oodles of notes, and that's what I'm going off on my.
Well, I'm glad they broke it up. That was, I don't know. That was bad. I don't.
And one thing I'll say about Stan, okay, Stan the millionaire. I've known some people in my lifetime with lots of money, and let me tell you something. I've known some millionaires that were just as cheap as Stan. For a long time, I had no idea that Stan actually was a millionaire. He kept screaming he had $2 million, $2 million. But it was just like, I don't believe this guy's a millionaire the way he's living. But then I thought about some of the people I know with the most money that just live the most cheap lives. I thought about my grandparents going to the Cadillac dealership when I was 14. My grandmother with a dress that had been patched many times. My grandfather wearing an old gray, old man's undershirt. And then walking into the Cadillac dealership and say, "Okay, we'll take that one." And my grandmother pulling the cash out of her bag. That sort of thing happens. I mean, but the one storyline that I would have done without was Ray and Brittany. The friendship ring. Everyone looked disgusted with him. And Brittany just lost it. She wasn't even grateful enough that this man thought enough about her to buy her a promise ring. Now, granted, she had decided that she was getting married, and she was just not having it. She ran away from him and went right back upstairs to her room, which was really the most immature, silly thing anybody could ever do. Did some digging. You might have $1 million. It's network. Okay. I had a feeling it wasn't quite as high as what he kept screaming. So Brittany and Ray, they had a lot of words between them for be able to say, my biological clock is ticking. I think that's really what a lot of it had to say. With her, she's just, her biological clock is ticking. She's desperate, and she is determined that that's going to happen. She was still fishing for that stupid proposal. He kept saying he wasn't ready, but she could not honor that. All she could do was just keep on. But at least she finally took the ring.
Yeah, it ended happily for them as far as their chances of getting married. I just wonder if Ray's going to rebel against this eventually. I mean, I would. That's just too much.
Any man would.
It's just too much pressure from
prison to prison.
kind of. And he's one of the more likable people on the show, I think. So, aside being next con, but I mean, I think he, yeah, we'll see how it works out. But I think if he gives it on that, he's going to be giving on a lot more to keep the relationship working. I don't know if he's okay with it. Okay, I wouldn't be.
Brittany and Marcelino. Oh my goodness!
It took a weird twist.
It took a very weird twist. Now we knew she was bisexual, but I was just not prepared for them to go there with this whole storyline. I have some, really strong feelings about swinging it in three ways. Formed during the 1970s, where that stuff was popular. I saw a lot of marriages that tanked from doing that stuff, and I never saw it work out. So I think she's really playing with fire. When she started making Amanda show up, and she started telling Amanda that they wanted to maybe try a three-way, I was just like, oh, holy crap. Might as well sign that divorce paper, because I just can't see them making it work. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. What do you think? Give me the man's perspective as they tiptoed off to have their three-way.
I mean, it's interesting, I guess, from a man's perspective, that usually I think it's the man that would want to add a third person. In this case, it's her. The other two seem more than willing, but I don't know that it's, I don't know. I think Wham had it right when they say it's sex is best when it's one-on-one. And relationship. So we'll see. I don't know. He's going along with it. I guess probably more to satisfy her.
We'll see if jealousy emerges. I mean, that's what I'm curious about.
It would be tough not to be jealous, I think, watching your wife with another woman or your husband with another woman. So maybe they can work it out. I don't know. I don't think it's a good development, but I still think they're two of the best chance to make it. And they both seem like decent people. I guess she can't help her sexuality. I don't know. Maybe it can work. Doesn't help the relationship, in my opinion, but maybe it'll still work.
And speaking of the most screwed up relationship in this entire thing, Lacey and John, she calls him Lacey. She's waiting for him there in Virginia Beach. I got a real laugh out of that, because it was another time where I was like, hey, I know that. I've been there. They're right by the pier. I've stayed in that hotel. So that was kind of interesting. John said his being with her was a dumbass decision. He said there was just too much drama and revenge between the two of them. And she was doing some heavy-duty manipulation and threatening of him. She was doing some gaslighting. With a lot of the things she was saying, she was throwing the book at him, trying to get him to commit to her, to seeing her again. And he walked off. I got to say, I'm proud and
yeah, I think he has another relationship, which is going to really be obviously endangered and not destroyed by going back to Lacey. So yeah, he made the right move. I guess he said he can't let her go. Or his exact words. And I understand it's hard sometimes to.
But he dumped her, and he dumped her hard. It was pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, that's the right thing to do. So kudos to him.
And poor Shane showing up to haul away his clothing in a garbage bag, wanting to talk to Lacey, and clearly she wasn't there. And she's saying she's going to focus on her kids, not some man. Lacey, we don't believe you. We think you're going to be with some other guy here soon.
Yeah, she's not likable, and wasn't before, and is making it worse, I think, now. Due to no redeeming qualities, I don't think. So I don't know what she's looking for, but she's going to make herself and others miserable, in my opinion, anyway.
We have to talk about Big Chief John cutting off his hair. That was pretty gnarly. I was really surprised that he would do that. Really surprised. He said he has no emotional regulation. and that Christiana ghosted him.
Oh, that's too bad about Shane. He actually,
I'm talking about John.
No, but we just had a comment here. So yeah, I think he actually has a good heart, made some poor decisions.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that, Christoph, and I saw that they found him near Bridgeport, Connecticut, was it? That they were looking for him, and then he's apparently inpatient now, getting some kind of treatment. I think that's probably a good thing. He needs to stay the hell away from Lacey.
Yeah, I think he meant well, and boy, she really let him have it. I think unfairly when they went for counseling about how she never loved him and all this stuff, and that's really hurtful to say, I think. So yeah, I think he needs to move on, but he comes across as more likable certainly than she does. Personal opinion.
Go back to John cutting his hair. His pal who was wearing the jacket that said Heathen Nation on the back, and I got a big laugh out of that. That was a cool one. He cut off John's hair in a ritual after they had done the whole smudging thing with the
some kind of fire or whatever.
Sage. They smudged with sage. They lit a fire. I heard John utter the funniest thing I've heard him say yet. Welcome to MF and Dubuque. I've been to Dubuque. I can't ever say I've ever heard anybody say that. And I was like screaming when they were cutting off his hair, John, go to the hair salon, have them style it. But no, John is wandering around like Chief Super Sad with his hair. He's going to burn his hair, burn it, some ritual to cut off him and Christiana. But I also saw that he had taken her back, that they're back together. They were actually on Cameo together, him and his short haircut now, his chin length hair. With Christiana, and Christiana was back. They were being all lovey-dovey. They were making videos for people. So apparently it was just some kind of little lapse, and she turned around and pulled herself out of it. I'm sorry that WeTV did not get to film that, because I would love to be a fly on the wall to know if Christiana busted him for keeping Tara from their wedding.
I wonder about that too. That's pretty serious.
It's a lie about it. It's a serious thing. It doesn't hold. It doesn't hold.
Oh boy, I don't know.
Marriage.
I would say it's a long shot. They're just going to work out.
I want them to work out too. I like her, and I sort of kind of like him sometimes.
Not as upbeat as
I like Heathen Nation a little bit better. I got a kick out of him.
She's just got so many issues that I don't know if she's capable of resolving with drugs and stuff, and just so
I think she's capable of resolving them. I just don't know if she's capable of resolving them with him and without being in rehab. That's just the thing. It's just a really hard one.
Yeah, I'll have to see if they how she takes him keeping her sister away from the wedding too, which is a lie. He's covered that up.
It's a pretty big lie too, because she was devastated that her sister Tara wasn't there at their wedding.
So you two are probably more optimistic than I am. I guess it could happen, but I don't think either one are very.
I like them. I want them to work out. I know you don't like them, but I do.
So many mistakes, so many poor choices, both of them in their whole life. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, at least he didn't throw her clothes out like last week. He was bundling them all up. I thought he was going to throw them out in the garbage bags, but apparently not.
Yeah, I didn't know they were going to make up. I guess that's some kind of future thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Because right now they're separate. He doesn't have any idea where she's at.
Well, someone showed on their Cameo account. They're back together, and he's got the short hair. So whatever their problem was, they managed to iron it out and get back together again. They are my favorite, have been from the first season. Christoph Ann, I wasn't too sure about him. He did not interview well that first episode of season 3, where he was babbling about the Red Road and Indian mysticism. And they asked him how many kids he had, and he started counting, and he couldn't figure it out. But he said he had 5 ex-wives or 4 ex-wives or something. And I was like, ew, this guy is a scumball. And I was looking at his action figures. So what is the name of the horror movie series? Nightmare on Elm Street. I was looking at all his horror and like, this guy shouldn't be inflicting himself on any woman. But I've seen them together now, and I kind of like them together. And I'm willing to overlook the stupid things that I see that I'm like, because if I was moving in there, those horror figures would have to relocate to a man cave or something because it's just weird. But who knows with them? I'm done. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Not really. I guess they
just want
won't.
to say, Ray, run.
They aren't going to be on next week, right? So, and then you're going to switch to another.
January, they're going to switch over to their newest show, which I haven't seen. It's called
what is
Love During Lockup.
Yeah. So what can you know much about the next spinoff?
The spinoff is Love During Lockup.
Okay.
And we're going to see two familiar faces, I've been told. Deonte is now hooked up with Lindsay from Mississippi.
Oh, boy.
As wild and out of control as she was, I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen.
He's actually, I think,
he's a decent guy in some ways.
Yeah.
But he's just super foolish at those shows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's just, his approach to girlfriends and dating is off. Somehow, I don't know how he doesn't get the message that he shouldn't follow Nicole. But I mean, as far as it seems like a decent guy, other than that.
And there are plenty of
to beat something and to host something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't doubt that at all. A lot of the people connected to the show have made a ton of money hosting stuff or doing cameos and silly stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess it's capitalism at work here. They're going to turn their notoriety into money. So I can't blame him for that. And Deonte would be more likable, certainly. I mean, you just shake your head about some of the things he does, but he's at least likable, I think. And a lot of them aren't. So, yeah, we'll see.
Who knows? I haven't seen the previews yet on the new show. I've got to sit down and take a look at that because here we had to watch the season finale on YouTube, and they didn't have the preview. They didn't have the preview for the new show. Deonte is, going to host something. I'm sure he will. And there have been some crazy ones. I'd kind of like to see them bring back the lady from Mississippi. And you remember her boyfriend, you know what I'm talking about? They got married.
Older lady.
Yeah. I'm super curious as to what has happened there.
She needs to dump him. He's not any good. So I don't know. Another one. I mean, it's just how they keep turning to convicts and think it can work. I'm not saying it can't, but I think the odds are pretty long. So,
well, years ago, I read a book about that. I read a book about the psychological phenomenon about why there are some women that are searching online. I mean, searching for love in the prison system, and a lot of them do it because they were saying that they're not very sure of themselves and the man is the ultimate in safety because he's in prison. You know where he's at all the time. You know he's not cheating on you in a real sense beyond writing letters to other women. So he's supposedly the ultimate in safety. Like when we were all 12 and 13 years old and in love with whichever.
Donny Osmond.
Well, for me, it was Donny Osmond. I have to post a picture of myself grinning in my bedroom with my hundreds of Donny Osmond posters. Years and years ago. But I was reading that the same sort of phenomenon, as in when you're an early preteen and you're exploring the idea of romance and you're putting that onto somebody who can't hurt you in any way, shape, or form, a pop star. So this allows them to have the fantasy of the romance and all of that without actually having scary bad parts. So I think that's it.
What do you want about next week? What are we going to be doing? Are they going to do that?
I don't
know. You said they're going to switch to the.
They are, but not till January. So we'll probably be gone till January. I'm toying with doing a review of season 2 of The Righteous Gemstones because that's one of my favorite shows, and it's about to restart again. I was reminded again today why I liked it so much. The main writer, actor, producer, Danny McBride, went to a church that was part of the Presbytery with the crazy fundamentalist church I used to go to. I probably met his mom because They were all into the puppet ministry. Our church got a puppet ministry out of their church. Couple of stories on the first season of The Righteous Gemstones, I was sitting back going, now wait a minute. That happened at Raccoon Ford, or happened to somebody through Raccoon Ford. Oh God, I just out of the name of my old church. So there's that. Raccoon Ford doesn't exist any longer.
But do you want to do it?
I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I don't know, but I don't know. Next week we won't have one.
Next week will be the day after Christmas.
The day after Christmas, we'll have to do something else if we come back on or something.
But thanks for tuning in. I see we only have 3, especially to Christoph and Christoph and always a lot of your comments. And Merry Christmas. Tree in the background to everyone.
Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys in a few minutes because I have to talk about. Somebody was saying some really nasty, horrible things earlier today. Somebody had looked up the statistics for abuse in the church for SA. I looked it up, and I can tell you, I can debunk everything this person is saying with real numbers. Real numbers.
San Antonio.
No, SA. You can't say it. It's SEXAUSSAULT. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that just a hair because I just can't let these lies pass. I have to say something and just go from there. Okay, you guys, I'll see you in a few.
Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.